Alright, this is going to be the first tutorial in a series of videos for operating your site. I'm not going to do a whole lot on WordPress 101. There's a plethora of information on the web where you can find out, just the general basics and information. However, with that said, I am going to touch base on specific elements of your site, editing things in your site as well. I will do a couple one-on-one elements. Like this video, I'm going to touch on some basics and at least try to get you familiar with the surroundings and the login. I'm assuming you don't have any experience with WordPress. I believe maybe you said you logged in one time or you had a site you did something small with or whatever. So I'm just going to assume that you haven't even heard of WordPress and kind of go from there. And then after a video or two, I'm going to really pick up the pace and move at a much faster scale. And if there's some things, some terminology and stuff you're not sure on, then I would just do a search for WordPress tutorials or just general information. Like I said, there's a ton of it available out there. Let's go ahead and get going. First thing is logging in. Right, your URL is obviously this right here. If you look in the top left corner, Miami Beach Mike. To log in to anything that WordPress, a WordPress website, what we have to do is add this at the end of the URL string. So miamibeachmike.com/wp-admin, and that gets this. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what about this? That's because we have this in a development folder, basically, so your site is not online, so people don't see this, what's going on right now. So when I turn the site over to you, when you log in, you'd log in with this right here. But for now, until you actually launch, you're going to need the WordPress in there because that's the development URL string. I hope that at least makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and log in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user login for you so we can actually see how you make a user, and at the same time make sure that you have access to the website. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on users. I'm going to click add new. And then your username, which I'm going to just go ahead and put Michael, if I can spell it. Your email, which is required. First name, last name, this other stuff is entirely up to you. I'm going to leave that blank for now. I'm going to give you a default password of 123456. I strongly and highly recommend that you change this as soon as possible. WordPress does make you susceptible of you being hacked, so make sure that your passwords are difficult. Okay, next, make sure you get the email of this, and then this is really important, is make sure if anybody's editing your site, specifically you want to have them as an administrator. That way they can control and edit and update everything related to your website. And go ahead and add a new user. Alright, now what we'll see are the two users that have been created. The main user or admin, and then you. Now, once we turn the site over, two things with the main admin here. You're going to want to change out my email, of course. Obviously, you need to have email access. Next, you're going to want to change the password with this. And the reason I'm bringing this up is don't delete this. Don't delete the admin. Whatever you do, don't delete this, because if you delete this, it's going to break your site, and we're going to have to rebuild your site. So again, do not delete out the main admin. You can delete out your user, you can delete out other users if you want to, but just don't delete this one. Okay. Next, what I want to show you is the left sidebar, and this actually is where you go to update and maintain the site. Alright, so such as, let's see, your posts. You have your post here, so when you want to make blog posts, you would come here. Your media for uploading pictures and checking your current media library. Your links, such as creating links, external links. Maybe you're linking to CNN or ESPN or wherever you might be linking to. Pages, that should be self-explanatory. Any new pages such as About Us or Contact or things like that. And then so forth and so forth. And I'll touch base on a lot of these, specifically if they're related to operating your site, your login, your main site, this front end right here. If I don't cover it, that means it's not necessarily related to this actual theme you picked, as it might be an actual default function of WordPress, such as, for example, settings. if I come in the settings, you know, I have things in here like, you know, your tagline, you know, setting your date format, you know, the week starts on whenever. If you want to do those things, you can, you know, obviously are more than welcome to come do that. I'm just not going to cover every single little field and click and option and everything associated with WordPress. However, setting up your options panel, which is custom made for your theme, going over these things, that I absolutely will do. And I'll do that in about 4 to 6 minute clips at a time per video, per section. There might be a couple that are a little long. For the most part, they won't be any more than 4 or 5 minutes. All right, that's going to kind of do it for this introduction to at least to your admin section. And I'm going to start doing other videos on other areas.